wearing a singular AirPod in court as his lawyers were hashing out final plans. The jury wasn't present on June 25 at the P. Diddy trial, so it left the lawyers some time to figure out the last steps of trial. Meanwhile, Diddy wore an AirPod while they chatted. Tyrone Bowman live. That's the first I've ever heard of a defendant who can come to court with a singular AirPod. So let's find out what's happening with this story. According to the Mirror, Sean Diddy Combs appeared distracted during his last appearance in court. While the jury was given a day off on January 25, the rapper's defense attorneys and prosecutors rolled up to the Daniel Patrick Moynihan courthouse anyway. They spoke with Judge Aaron Subramanian about some final details regarding the end of the trial, including the last bits of timeline. However, Diddy reportedly wasn't engaged throughout the conversation. Instead, according to TMZ, he kept one AirPod in while he stared down at his lap most of the time. No word on what, if any, the AirPod was connected to over Bluetooth. Plus, it doesn't look like he was breaking any sort of rule, as the judge didn't admonish the choice. On Thursday, June 26, jurors are slated, which they did, to return to court where they will hear the closing arguments from prosecutors at 10 a.m. Lasting for approximately 4 hours, there will be a lunch break in the middle on Friday, June 27. Their defense team will have their chance to shine with their anticipated 3-hour closing argument. Prosecutors will then be allowed a brief rebuttal. It wasn't decided when jury deliberations will officially begin. With the July 4 holiday swiftly approaching, Subramanian has been mindful of the trial's speed. Prosecutors previously indicated, according to CNN, an expectation that deliberations will begin on Monday, June 30. But there is always a chance they could begin on Friday following closing arguments. There is no set time limit to jury deliberations, so it's hard to say when a verdict will finally be handed down to Diddy. He is facing 5 charges across 3 federal indictments, including sex trafficking, conspiracy, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Sean Diddy Combs pleaded not guilty to all charges against him. Additionally, he vehemently denies all allegations of wrongdoing against him, including those alleged in civil lawsuits. I think they got you there, buddy, because you paid Cassie Ventura $20 million. You gave the woman $20 million cash. So your credibility is shot right there. You don't pay somebody $20 million because y'all had an argument. You paid her $20 million because you didn't want her to talk about the vicious beating that she has sustained, and you knew there was a videotape out there. So you hurried up and you cut the check from your accounting department, which came out during the course of the trial. While the defense is slated to take 3 hours, they are known for their brevity. This trial, while early on in the trial, they asked the judge to allow them extra time to cross-examine witness Cassie Ventura. When the ball was put in their court, they decided to keep it short. What? I wouldn't have kept it short. As a criminal justice major, soon to be a lawyer, I wouldn't have kept it short. The life of my client hangs in the balances, and he faced the maximum of whatever life imprisonment without parole. Do you think that the cross-examination is going to be short? No, it's not going to be short. It's going to be detailed, vigorous, and deliberate. The defense did not call in witnesses to testify. Let me just say this to those of you all watching. Just because somebody's been accused of a crime doesn't mean that they did it. This court of public opinion, the YouTube lawyers and so-called experts and people think they know what the law really is. You don't know unless you are a lawyer. I am a criminal defense major. I can spew a lot of stuff out of my mouth, but I keep it simple on purpose. Now, once I get my degrees, I'm going to just start a law channel. And on that channel, I'll talk about nothing but legal work because I had the credibility, the certification, and the degrees to back it up. So a pretend YouTube lawyer who gets angry because people are being tried in the court of public opinion doesn't mean that you're right. The prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt that everything that they have said, they didn't even allege it, they said this is what he did, happened. If there's one scintilla of doubt raised by the defense, it'll throw the entire jury in chaos during the deliberation process. And I'm going to go on record to say something. I don't think Diddy will do a day in prison. It's not that I don't think he will be acquitted. There's an ace in the hole. He has friends in high places. And I wouldn't be surprised if he received a full unconditional pardon. And what y'all gonna say then? Nothing. Because there won't be anything that you can do about it. So the defense did not call any witnesses to testify. Wrapping up in a matter of days, Diddy himself did not even testify. I wouldn't have testified either. You don't even give your enemies a chance to interrogate you. Make them prove it. Make them prove each and single element that they alleged. And I believe that there's reasonable doubt all the way around because a lot of the shady characters who testified against them, they were forced by the district attorney's office to testify under the threat that you yourself will face criminal charges if you don't comply with us. Goes on every day. I said it goes on every single day. It's called flipping, snitching. And if they allege under oath that all those things happened that they said, then they should be locked up. And you didn't say anything about it? Anybody can take the stand when they're given full immunity in cooperation for their testimony not to be prosecuted and locked up. They can sit on that stand and say anything. How many times have you gone to court to watch somebody that you know, a friend or family member, be tried, and you know that they didn't do it? And they sitting there just lying their behinds off. The cops are lying. District attorney is lying. That's not to justify a lot of the crimes that people commit, because some people commit some horrendous and terrible, terrible crimes. And they got to face the music for what they did. They got to be punished for what they did. And they have to be in prison for what they did. But there are too many people who have been falsely accused and they're locked up in prison right now. And by the grace of God, through different various innocence projects, were able, through DNA, get set free. And even after they're free, the damage has been done to their character, their reputation. How many people have spent 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus years in prison? Some of you are watching right now, or some of you who will watch this video later. You've got family members right now that you know that are innocent, and they've been in jail a long time. And the only reason why they can't get out because you all don't have enough money to get the top lawyers in the country to be able to help them. Can a brother get a witness in the comment section, please? Let me know that you're hearing me. And the only reason why they can't get out, because they don't have an innocence project to fight for them. How do I know what I'm talking about? I'm not talking about something I read. I'm not talking about something I heard. I'm talking about something I lived. Because I was framed, set up, tried, convicted, thrown in prison. and they hoped to God I would die. But what they didn't count on, I got stronger, wiser, and smarter. And I became a jailhouse lawyer. I had two of my best friends who were lawyers, and they taught me law like nobody's business. And they said, when you get out, you should become a lawyer. And that's why I'm a criminal justice major studying right now to become a what? A criminal justice advocate, fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves, speaking for those who cannot speak for themselves, knowing how both sides of the system operates. Oh, I know what I'm talking about here today. To use the words of a wrestler, quote unquote, Reverend Devon, oh, my brother, testify, end quote. While everybody wants Diddy to rot in prison, he could get acquitted and could walk free. So, who's stressed? His lawyers stressed that Diddy's actions, wait a minute, the district attorney. Here we go. The music mogul's demeanor in the courtroom previously came under scrutiny from Subramanian, who noticed him attempting to interact with jury members. The judge said, quote, I could not have been clearer. There was a line of questioning where your client was nodding vigorously and looking at the jury. We probably don't agree with much, but you know what? I appreciate that, and I appreciate the feedback, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because communication is important, whether people agree or disagree. And sometimes we meet in the middle of the road. You know, you would be surprised. See, I don't talk about everything that's on my mind before this camera, but you would be surprised some of the positions that I take regarding certain things. Positions that my closest associates and friends be like, man, I'm shocked that you actually take this position because it's the right position to take. Like I always tell some of my own people, just because you black don't mean I'm agree with you all the time. You know, I'll go on record to say this. Everything that President Trump has talked about is not wrong. The way he says stuff and his brandish attitude, that's another thing. But everything that the man has said is not wrong. People might not like him, may despise him, may even hate him. But he's not wrong when it comes to a lot of things. He's not. I don't particularly like MAGA and don't care for MAGA. But I will say, I'm not dealing with his character. I'm just talking about Micah. I'm not talking about his character. I'm just talking about some of the things that he has said is not wrong. Because I know some folk, hear me when I tell you, I know some people, they really need to get their acts together and stop blaming everything, everyone, and everybody for their problems. People watching me right now, we've all had a hard life. We've all had struggles, pain, heartache, sorrow, death, disappointment, rejection. Some of us, we got to work 2 and 3 and 4 jobs. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying that he has not done bad things. I just said some of the things that he said he's correct about. And I'll say this about the Democrats: y'all need to get y'all act together. I know I'm getting away from Diddy for a minute, and I'll get back. But the Democratic Party, if you all intend to win any elections anytime soon, y'all need to wake up. First of all, I don't like the fact that y'all a bunch of pathetic cowards. You got a female congressman, she's more bolder than all of y'all put together. You got Bernie Sanders, who was a Democrat who became an independent And he's not even a young man, he's more forceful what he believes. Then you got the establishment of the Democratic Party who wants stuff to stay just the way it is. They don't want to rock the boat, they don't want to change nothing, and they won't fight. They won't fight. Even if you lose the argument, still voice your opinion. Many arguments I lose, but the one thing I don't do, I don't back down from my position. If I believe I'm right, I'm going to fight for what I believe. If I'm going to be a defense attorney, I'm going to fight for my client, win, lose, or draw. They're going to know I did my best. And the Democratic Party, you all need to wake up. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. You all are the reason why the election was lost, because you abandoned your candidate. You all didn't fight for Kamala Harris. You didn't stand with her. You abandoned her. And you left her out there all by herself. True. They should have accepted her. They abandoned her. They turned their backs to her. They really didn't care. And Biden could not have defeated Trump, man. The Biden was not, come on, man. You can see he wasn't well. Something was going on there. Something was really going on with former President Biden that they did not want to address. He should have handed the presidency over to Kamala Harris 2 years before the election, because his health was declining. He should have handed it over to her then. And then she would have been put in a position to be able to actually win a nomination. So when you surrender to your enemy and your enemy's got the upper hand on you and you want to be docile, you want to be nice, you want to turn the other cheek, they obliterate you. Read The Art of War. Read the book, The Art of War. And also read the book called A Tale of Two Cities. Check it out. All right, that's enough of talking about politics. I want to get back to this article about Diddy. The judge was ticked off with Diddy because he was sending signals to the jury. And there was a subsequent moment. We had a sidebar, and I looked and I saw your client looking at the jury and nodding aggressively. That's what the judge said to his lawyers. The judge right then and there could have sent him back to the prison and could have started the whole trial all over again. He stressed that Diddy's actions were absolutely unacceptable, threatening to remove him from the courtroom should he continue. Quote, "Is this going to happen again?" The judge asked Diddy's attorney. "It's not going to happen again," Agnefalia replied as Diddy crossed his arms. He pushed his chair back from the defense table. This ain't no joke, man. Listen, y'all, this trial is not a joke. This trial is not a game. This is serious business here. When the FBI and all those people swooped down on all his properties, that stuff was planned. That was premeditated. That was organized and orchestrated. That was never a stunt. Know your enemy. Know what you're dealing with before you deal with it. No, understand what strategy is. Chess is a game of strategy. I prefer chess over checkers. I played enough chess when I was in prison. And I'm out here to fight. I'm out here to win. I'm out here to advocate. That's why I'm on YouTube. I'm not on YouTube to make money. I will never monetize this channel. Never. I mean what I say. I'm not playing. This channel will never be monetized. This is a service. This is an advocacy program. That's why I cover so many different topics on this program. I'm a crusader. I was born for this. If I know how to make money. I'm a broadcaster and a journalist in real life. Commentator. So I'm not here. That's why I don't have no Cash App up there. Like earlier on I did, but I cut that stuff out. I don't do that kind of stuff because I don't need to. The Mongols should rise again. So that's why I'm here. And I'm here as an advocate rather. I'm here because I know people dealing with problems and circumstances and situations. People are hurting. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Don't let this clean face and these glasses and these earrings fool you. Don't let this stuff fool you. I'm a real thoroughbred brother, straight up. You can look into my eyes. I ain't playing. That's I laugh at a lot of comments. I laugh them off because people can't get to me. I won't let you. But the bottom line is, Diddy's trial is real. He's done a lot of bad things to a lot of people, and that's the fact. He's hurt a lot of people. He's destroyed a lot of people. He's used a lot of people. He has abused a lot of people. He's destroyed people's lives. We all saw that infamous video on the hotel, what he was doing to Cassie Ventura. They should have arrested his behind then. He should have been arrested then. You don't pay nobody $20 million if you didn't do something that's terrible and hideous, abusing a woman, and you know it's being recorded on camera, but you don't care because you think you're above the law. I remember when he had the show Making the Band and all that kind of stuff. Whatever happened to those people? Whatever happened to all these people who were supposed to go on and succeed in the entertainment industry? They allowed you to become a billionaire, and you abused it. And when you go against the system, and you go against those who allowed you to go to where you are, they shut you down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I got to take a quick break and prepare for the next videos. Never surrender. Never quit.